homeless in the heartland. The stark reality is that Topeka Public Schools saw the number of homeless students skyrocket more than 33% in just 2 years. Now about 400 Topeka students are without a permanent home. Many of their families live with extended family or friends gracious enough to take them in. Others live at the rescue mission. KSNT News evening anchor Jared Broyles sat down with USD 501's Dr. Tiffany Anderson ahead of a keynote speech she'll deliver later this morning in Orlando, Florida.
Dr. Anderson, let's talk a little bit about the National Homeless Conference that you will be attending and speaking at. What will you be speaking on? And I think what's also interesting is that you're not going alone. Who are you taking with you?
Yeah, I'm taking students with me. The great thing is that every place that I travel to, when there's the opportunity to take students, to have them go look at colleges the day before, and then to attend parts of the conference, we'll be doing that. The National Homeless Conference will be representing states across the nation. There will be people from Kansas there and all of the other states really looking at the issue of poverty. We now know that Topeka, for example, we are at 77% poverty. Kansas as a whole has increased in poverty. So I'll be talking about poverty, I'll be talking about homelessness, and more importantly, talking about trauma. What kind of trauma comes out of being in a constant state of poverty or homelessness, and what does that look like? In Topeka, we have a trauma boot camp that's kicking off, and so I'll share a little bit about what that boot camp will entail. Meanwhile, I have some students with me. I asked for students that are some of our high need students. So 2 of the students are from my Superintendent Advisory Council. Then I asked for 2 students either who are or have experienced a level of either trauma or homelessness or something in that nature, but students that are high performing, students that will benefit from the conference. So they'll get a chance to attend sessions. We'll visit colleges on Saturday, fly there together. We're excited about this upcoming conference.
Remarkable. So opportunity for students who are really rising above the circumstances and situations in their own life.
Absolutely. Some of the students that I'll be taking, they work because they really have to work to make sure that they meet certain ends. The other piece is that these are all seniors. These are seniors that are really planning what's their next step in life. So I'm excited to give them exposure and access to some other networks that they haven't seen. The conference is in Orlando, Florida, so they'll be flying to Florida, and so for some, it's one of few times that they've ever been on a plane. So just the experience in its entirety. The other piece that I'll be asking the students to do is to take notes and to present to adults. So when they come back, they'll be presenting some of what they've learned at the conference in addition to having visited some colleges.
We don't really often think of homelessness as a reality, maybe in Kansas, in the Plains states. How does your school district define homelessness? Because I think sometimes we look at it as that person is out on the street, and that isn't always necessarily the case. So how is it defined, and what is the reality in the 501 district?
Yeah, you know, really homelessness is defined for all of us in school systems under the McKinney-Vento Act, and really it's without a home. So it could be that you're staying with extended relatives. It could be that you are staying in a shelter. We have a lot of kids whose families stay at the mission. In fact, my next principals meeting will be at the mission. So we really look deeply at homelessness and trauma, and what does trauma look like when you are in a state of not knowing where your next meal will be, or moving from place to place. So homelessness can have very different forms depending on the situation, but it's being without a permanent home at that time. The other piece, you know, our mayor here in Topeka is doing a lot with the mission right now in addressing homelessness. And so this is really a topic overall that we see as a district that we must contribute collectively to improving.
All right, Dr. Tiffany Anderson, USD 501, thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.